I never thought I'd be the guy writing something like this, but here we are. My name's Mike, and I'll give you the quick rundown. I was with Lisa for about 10 years. We married young, built a life, had 2 kids. Things weren't perfect, but I thought we had something real. Hell, I thought she was my perfect partner, smart, funny, a little bitchy, but in a way I liked. We had our fights, sure, but nothing I thought was insurmountable. Then last year, things started changing. She became more distant, more irritable. She'd cancel plans last minute, say she was busy with work or just needed some time. I'd ask if she was cheating or seeing someone, and she'd roll her eyes, call me paranoid. "You're imagining things, Mike," she'd say. "I'm just stressed. Give me a break." I wanted to believe her, but honestly my gut was telling me otherwise. There was this weird tension I couldn't shake, like she was hiding something but not outright lying, just enough to keep me suspicious. The biggest sign was her phone. She used to be pretty open about it, but then she started keeping it close, sleeping with it in her hand. When I'd try to glance at her screen, she'd get defensive, change the subject, or shove her phone away. Our usual intimacy was fading too. She'd brush me off in bed, give one-word answers when I tried to talk. I'd catch her texting late at night, quick messages, hurried replies. I'd ask who she was talking to, and she'd say work or a friend. Yeah, right. One night, I finally decided to check her phone when she was in the other room. I don't normally do this kind of thing, but I felt something was seriously wrong. I didn't expect to find what I did. There were messages, not just "hey, what's up," but flirty, suggestive stuff. From a number I didn't recognize. I looked closer. Her messages with this guy named Josh were all about sneaking around, planning secret meetups, this kind of "we need to be careful" vibe. And the craziest part, the last message was from yesterday. She was planning to meet him at a hotel. I should have felt angry, betrayed. But honestly, it was like my whole world just stopped. I stared at the screen, jaw clenched, heart pounding so loud I thought everyone in the world could hear it. I couldn't believe it. My wife, the woman I loved, lying to me, cheating on me with some guy she met during a crisis intervention weekend of all things. That's right, a weekend she convinced me was about fixing our marriage, working through issues, making us stronger. Instead, she was off screwing around with some guy she met while pretending to be working on us. I remember feeling sick, then furious. I wanted to scream, to punch something. But mostly I just felt numb. How long had this been going on? Weeks? Months? I had no idea. All I knew was that I had the receipts, the proof, and now I was staring at the end of everything I thought was real. I was furious at her for lying, hurt that she'd betrayed me, and confused about what to do next. That's when I realized I couldn't just brush this off or confront her without a plan. The way she lied, so slick, so bitchy, only made me more determined to find out the truth and make her pay in some way. I started thinking about how I'd catch her. In her lies, how I'd get revenge. But first I had to confront her. I had to find out how deep this actually went. And that's where I am now, sitting here trying to figure out what's real and what's just her bullshit. Because I know she's lying and I know she's cheating. She's a bitch about it too, lying, denying, twisting everything around like I'm the one in the wrong. But I've got the receipts and I'm not backing down. Her days of getting away with this are over. So the next step was obvious. I had to confront Lisa. I didn't want to do it right away, not cold and angry, but I knew I couldn't just sit on this information forever. I needed to hear her lie, see her reaction, get her to slip up. Honestly, part of me wanted to see her squirm, because the bitch in her always loved to be in control, to lie her way out of everything. I'd played this game before with her, but this time I had the evidence, and I was determined to get the truth. That evening, I waited until she got home from work. She was being her typical bitchy self, snapping at the kids, throwing her purse on the table like she owned the place. I kept my cool, sat on the couch, and let her come to me. When she finally did, I looked her straight in the eyes and said, "Lisa, I need to talk about us, about what I found." Her eyes narrowed immediately. She knew I was serious, and that only made her more defensive. She tried to brush it off at first, throwing out some of her typical bullshit, saying she was stressed, that I was paranoid, that I was imagining things. I cut her off. "You've been lying to me, Lisa. I found the hotel receipts. I know you were with that guy, Josh. Tell me honestly, what the hell is going on?" She scoffed, crossing her arms. "Oh, so now you're spying on me. Wow, Mike, just what I needed, more accusation. You're overreacting as usual." Her voice was sharp, biting, but I didn't flinch. I kept my tone steady. "Don't lie, I saw the messages. You planned to meet him at that hotel yesterday. Don't even try to deny it." Her face flickered, a brief flash of panic then. She threw her head back and laughed, this fake, bitchy laugh that made my blood boil. "Oh, please, that's just a business trip. Maybe I was meeting a client, or maybe I was meeting a friend like I told you I was. You're so paranoid, seriously, you need to get a grip." I was furious. "You're lying right to my face. You think I'm stupid. You think I don't know what's been going on. Do you even hear yourself right now? You're screwing around and you're so damn good at lying about it, but I've got the proof." I pulled out the receipts, showed her the hotel booking, the messages, everything. And yet she still denied. She kept pushing me, calling me crazy, saying I was imagining things, that I was just jealous. The thing is, I'd always been some version of a patient husband. I tried to give her the benefit of the doubt, to think she was under stress or maybe just unhappy. But this, seeing her lie like that, so bitchy and dismissive, it made me realize something. I was done. Done with her bullshit, her lies, her betrayal. The emotional roller coaster hit me hard. I felt a mixture of rage, heartbreak, and this deep, gnawing sadness I couldn't shake. It was like I was standing in the wreckage of what I thought was my life, trying to piece together how everything went so wrong so fast. I mean, I knew she was kind of a bitch in general, but this was next level. She was a cheating, lying bitch, and I didn't even recognize her anymore. I remember her telling me I was crazy, that I didn't know what I was talking about, that I was just jealous because she was so much hotter than my boring ass. That comment stung more than anything, her calling me jealous like she hadn't been sneaking around behind my back. But I wasn't going to let her get away with it. Not this time. I told her I needed some space, told her I was done trusting her, and that I'd be talking to a lawyer soon. She just shrugged, that bitchy smirk on her face, and said, "Whatever, Mike. Do what you need to do, but you're overreacting. You're just jealous because I still look good and you're a boring old man." That was her way of dismissing everything, acting like I was the problem, not her. But I knew better now. I knew she was a liar, a cheat, and a manipulator. The emotional impact hit me hard. I'd always thought I was the one holding everything together, the one trying to keep our marriage afloat. But she was the one secretly sinking it all with her lies and sex with that guy. I'd been blind for so long, hoping things would get better, but it was clear now I was just fooling myself. The woman I loved was gone, replaced by someone I barely recognized. And honestly, I didn't know if I'd ever get her back, or if I just needed to accept that this was the end of us. After that night, everything changed. I felt like I was walking around in a fog, caught between rage and deep sadness. I couldn't sleep, kept replaying everything I'd uncovered and her dismissive attitude. The more I thought about how she lied and dismissed my feelings, the more I realized just how much she didn't respect me. It was like I was just some fool she could manipulate, and that thought made my stomach churn. I decided I needed to get more proof, something concrete I could use to make her see how serious I was. I didn't trust her to come clean or admit anything willingly. So I set up a small hidden camera in the living room, just to see what she did when I wasn't around. I knew, intellectually, it was kind of sneaky, but I didn't care. I needed to catch her in the act if I was going to believe anything more than her words. Plus, I wanted to see if she had a pattern of lying or if she'd just try to cover her tracks next. Over the next few days, I watched her closely. She'd come home late, a little more bitchy than usual, and would be quick to brush past me, snapping at the kids. She seemed jittery, like she was hiding something. Every time she left the house, I'd check her phone. No surprise, there were no new messages, but I knew she was still sneaking around. I just needed to know if she was being careless or if she was trying to cover her tracks. Then came the day I caught her again. I was at work and I saw the camera footage. She left the house late in the afternoon, wearing a coat I didn't recognize, and got into a car I'd never seen before. About an hour later, she arrived at the hotel, yes, the same one I found the receipts for. She went inside and I could see her talking to someone. My stomach twisted. She was really doing it. Cheating, lying, sneaking around. I wasn't imagining things and I wasn't paranoid. It was all real. That moment, watching her walk into that hotel, made my blood boil. I'd given her so many chances to come clean, to admit the truth, but she kept lying. I felt betrayed on every level. I'd trusted her with everything, and she turned out to be nothing but a selfish, manipulative bitch. I had to decide what to do next. Was I going to keep letting her lie and cheat, or was I finally going to put an end to it? I decided enough was enough. I couldn't stay married to someone who thought she could get away with this. I knew she'd try to deny everything again, but I had the evidence. All I needed was to confront her face to face and lay it all out. I wanted her to see that I wasn't going to be played anymore, that I was done being the fool in her twisted game. That night I waited for her to come home, feeling more focused than ever. I'd planned my approach carefully. I was going to calmly tell her I knew everything, show her the proof, and demand she tell me the truth for once. No more lies, no more pretending to be clueless. I was done being her sucker, her punching bag. When she walked in that door, I was already sitting on the couch, her phone in my hand. She looked surprised, like she knew I'd been digging but didn't expect to see me ready and waiting. I looked her straight in the eyes and I said, "Lisa, we need to talk. I know everything. The hotel, the messages, all of it." Her face twisted into that signature bitchy sneer, and she looked like she was about to spin some bullshit. But I wasn't having it anymore. I had the proof and I was prepared to put her on the spot. She tried to deny, of course. "Mike, you're crazy. You're just jealous. I don't know what you think you saw," but I cut her off. "Save it. The receipts don't lie. You've been lying to me from the start. I've seen the videos, the messages. You went into that hotel yesterday with him, didn't you?" She hesitated, then gave me that bitchy glare like she could still try to manipulate her way out of it, but I had enough. This was the moment I'd been waiting for. I was finally going to demand the truth, one way or another. Her eyes flickered with something, anger, defiance, maybe even fear, but she quickly masked it with that bitchy smirk. "Oh, give me a break, Mike. You really think I'm just going to sit here and admit I cheated, that I'm some kind of slut? You're so paranoid, it's pathetic." She crossed her arms tight, her voice dripping with contempt. "Honestly, I don't owe you any explanations. You're just insecure, jealous, and trying to ruin my reputation because I don't give you what you want anymore." I felt my blood pressure spike. I couldn't believe how she was throwing everything back in my face, how she was twisting what I knew to be true. My hands clenched into fists, but I forced myself to stay calm, partly because I knew losing my shit wouldn't get me anywhere and partly because I wanted her to see I was serious. I pulled out the screenshot of the hotel reservation, the timestamp clearly matching her arrival. I showed her the messages. "Look at this, Lisa. These are your words. You planned to meet him yesterday at that hotel. Don't lie anymore. I've got your proof right here." Her eyes darted away, then back at me. "That's all bullshit," she snarled. "Someone could have hacked my phone, or maybe you're just making things up. Maybe you're jealous because I still look good and you're so scared I'll leave you for someone better." Her voice was venomous, her tone dismissive, but I could see the tremor in her hands. She was trying to maintain her bitchy facade, but her composure was cracking. I didn't care. I was done with her lies. I looked her dead in the eyes and said, "No more games, Lisa. I know the truth. I know you've been screwing that guy, Josh, and I know you've been lying about everything. I can't trust you anymore. Honestly, I don't even want to be married to someone who cheats and lies like you do." It was like I'd pressed a button. Her face contorted into this mixture of rage and helplessness. "Fine," she snapped, voice rising. "If you're going to accuse me of cheating, then fine. Maybe I was just bored, maybe I needed some excitement. Or maybe I just don't want to be stuck in this boring, dead-end life with you anymore. Honestly, Mike, you're so fucking insecure, always snooping, always suspicious. It's no wonder I looked elsewhere." I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. Her words stung, but I also knew they were just her way of trying to spin the situation to manipulate me into feeling guilty. I didn't fall for it. I looked at her and said, "You can deny all you want, but I don't believe a word of your bullshit anymore. You think I didn't see how you acted, how you lied during the weekend, how you threw your phone around when I got close. That's not just stress, it's guilt. You cheated on me, Lisa. And I'm not going to let you keep lying to my face." She paused, her bitchy mask slipping for just a second. I saw her eyes flicker with something like panic, then she quickly masked it again with her usual attitude. "You're crazy," she spat. "You're overreacting. I don't know what kind of game you're playing, but I swear, I never slept with that jerk. You're just making this up in your head because you're jealous and insecure. Maybe I should leave, maybe I should take the kids and go. See how you handle that." That was the final straw. I realized I couldn't keep pretending everything was okay, that her lies didn't hurt or that I could fix this. I knew she was a manipulative bitch who'd say anything to save her own ass. The frustration, the heartbreak, it all hit me like a tidal wave. I looked at her, feeling the weight of everything, her lies, her betrayal, her bitchiness, and I knew I had to decide what I was going to do next. The first step was to get her to admit the truth outright, even if she didn't want to. Because I knew, deep down, that her lies wouldn't hold up forever, and I was done being her fool. I'd already made up my mind. I was going to confront her with everything I had, and then I'd make her see that she couldn't keep hiding behind her bitchy attitude and her lies. Whatever came next, I knew one thing for sure. I wasn't going to stay quiet anymore. The silence that followed her tirade was deafening. I sat there, staring at her, feeling the weight of everything crashing down on me. I'd expected her to deny, to argue, maybe even get more vicious, but her reaction surprised me even more. She looked defeated, her usual bitchy bravado slipping away, replaced by a flicker of panic I'd never seen before. It was almost like she realized I had her cornered, that her lies were finally catching up with her. "I don't know why you're doing this," she muttered, voice trembling just slightly. "You're being overdramatic. I swear I never slept with him. I never wanted to hurt you." She looked down, her eyes glossy with just enough tears to make her seem vulnerable, something she knew how to fake when she thought it would work. "I was just having a bad week. I needed some space, that's all. It meant nothing." I clenched my fists, trying to keep my composure. I felt like I was on the verge of losing my shit, but I managed to stay calm because I knew losing control wouldn't get me anywhere. "It meant nothing to you," I repeated, voice low but firm. "That's what you're telling me now, but I saw the hotel receipts, the messages, the way you snuck out that day. You're full of shit, Lisa. I'm done believing your lies." Her face twisted with frustration. "You don't understand. You're just being paranoid." "I didn't mean for it to go this far. Honestly, I was just lonely. You're so busy with work, with the kids, with your stupid hobbies. I needed some excitement. I don't like feeling like I'm just some mother or wife. I wanted to feel alive again." Her voice cracked here, a little desperate, like she was trying to make me feel guilty. But I wasn't buying it. I knew her game. She was the master at twisting things around, making herself seem like the victim, the wronged party. But I could see the truth in her eyes now, a flicker of guilt buried beneath her bitchy veneer. She didn't want to admit she'd been screwing around, but she couldn't deny the evidence. I looked at her and said, "You're a liar, Lisa. You've been lying to me for months. You think I don't see what's going on. You think I don't know you're not just lonely, you're screwing some guy behind my back. I'll tell you what, I'm done with your lies. I want you to leave tonight. Pack your shit and get out of my house." Her face darkened, her bitchy attitude returning. "Fine," she spat. "If that's how you feel, I'll leave. But I'm telling you, Mike, this isn't what it looks like. I'm not some cheating whore. I love you, and I'm not some slut you can just accuse. If you really want to believe I'm having an affair, fine. But I swear to God I never slept with him. I was just trying to figure out what I wanted, that's all." I shook my head, feeling a mixture of disgust and heartbreak. "You can lie all you want, Lisa. I don't believe you anymore. I've seen what I needed to see. This is over. You're a liar and I can't trust you. I want you gone. And don't come back unless you're ready to be honest for once in your life." She stared at me for a moment, her bitchy mask flickering again. Then she grabbed her purse, threw a final glare my way, and stormed out of the house. I watched her go, feeling a strange mix of relief and devastation. I knew she was going to try to spin this to make me the bad guy, but I didn't care anymore. I had the proof, I'd confronted her, and I was finally done with the lies. That night I sat alone in the living room, staring at the door she just walked out of. All I could feel was this overwhelming sense of loss. I'd lost someone I thought I knew, someone I loved, someone I trusted. It hurt more than I expected, worse than I'd ever felt. But at the same time, I knew the truth. I knew who she really was, a manipulative, bitchy cheat who thought she could get away with anything. As I looked around the house, I realized I'd have to rebuild from this. I'd have to figure out what life looked like now without her. And honestly, I didn't know if I was ready for that, but I knew I wouldn't stay silent anymore. I'd learned my lesson. Never trust a cheating, lying bitch who thinks she's above everything. I'd finally seen her true face, and I was determined to move forward, whatever that meant. The days that followed were a blur of legal consultations, moving arrangements, and trying to piece my shattered sense of what I thought was my life. The house felt huge and empty without her bitchy comments echoing off the walls. I had plenty of time to reflect on everything, the lies, the betrayal, her manipulations. It was hard to accept that someone I loved and trusted could turn out to be such a damn manipulative liar. I won't pretend it was easy. There were nights I stared at the ceiling, feeling angry and hurt, so betrayed that I wondered how I ever missed the signs. But eventually, I realized something important. I had been blinded by my own hope, by the comfort of familiarity. She was never the person I thought she was. She was just the bitchy, manipulative woman who played me for a fool. That realization, painful as it was, also set me free. What truly hit me was how much I'd let her control the narrative for so long. I kept making excuses, convincing myself that her mood swings were just stress, that she'd eventually come around. But deep down, I knew the truth, that I was the fool for sticking around for so long, convincing myself it could get better. Now I saw her for what she really was, a selfish, cunning woman who thought she could cheat and lie her way out of everything. I also learned that standing up for yourself, even if it feels like the most difficult thing in the world, is necessary. I didn't want to be a victim anymore. I wanted truth, clarity, and respect, things she never really gave me. Moving forward, I decided I'd focus on myself and my kids, rebuild what I could, and leave that toxic chapter behind. I told my friends and family what happened, and their support helped me realize I wasn't alone, even when I felt like I was drowning. Looking back, I wish I'd seen her true face sooner, but I also know I can't change the past. All I can do is learn from it, if there's one thing I want to tell anyone reading this, whether you're the one betrayed or the one doing the betraying, it's that honesty is the foundation of any real relationship. Without it, everything crumbles. Don't let someone manipulate you into thinking their lies are normal or acceptable. Trust your gut, because when it's screaming at you that something's wrong, it probably is. So now I'm moving on. I've filed for divorce and I'm focusing on healing, taking it one day at a time. I've realized some things about myself I never knew, about my strength, my resilience, and the importance of respecting myself enough not to accept betrayal. It's not easy, but I know I'll be okay. I've learned that sometimes the biggest betrayal can be the wake-up call you need to finally see the truth and start over. And that's where I am now. Still hurt, still angry at her for what she did, but also finally free. It's not about revenge anymore. It's about reclaiming myself, rebuilding my life, and making damn sure I never let anyone manipulate or betray me like that again. Because at the end of the day, I know my worth, and I won't settle for anything less.